How's it going, my fellow Uber and delivery drivers and anybody wanting to learn? Welcome back to the Driverman channel. I'm your man Jose, and today I wanted to talk to you about the near conclusion of the case of the Uber driver Michael Hancock, who killed his passenger in Denver last year on the I-25. Now, this week, Tuesday night, they heard the closing arguments from both sides, and on Wednesday morning, they're going to be deciding, it's a 12-person jury, will decide whether or not Michael Hancock is guilty or not. Now, there was some new information that was presented that I was not aware of before, and I wanted to talk to you about those facts. So, during Michael Hancock's testimony, as a part of it, he said that Hyun Kim was making unwanted sexual advances towards him. In other words, he was stating something along the lines of him groping him during the ride, and when he said, "Hey, I'm not gay," that apparently Mr. Kim got upset, and that was what began the altercation. He started to punch him in the head, and therefore he began to slow down, and then once he slowed down, he states at some point that he felt that Mr. Kim was reaching for something, and so that was why he got out of the car, ran around, and pulled out his Ruger 40 caliber semi-automatic pistol and fired 10 shots at him. Once the car had crashed into the barrier, what Mr. Hancock did is he went back to the car and he grabbed a knife that he had under his seat, his knife, and he put it in the victim's hand. Now, his argument for that is that he wanted to see if the victim was still alive and see if he would grab it. But there are numerous other ways that one could check to see if somebody's still alive besides putting a knife in their hands. So ultimately, what he made it look like was that he put the knife in Mr. Kim's hands to get, fingerprints on it to make it look like, oh yeah, he was, trying to attack Mr. Hancock with a knife with deadly force, and therefore that is justification for pulling out a gun and shooting him. The original destination was supposed to be 2 miles away. So how did they end up 70 miles away? Mr. Hancock is stating that Mr. Kim changed his mind during the ride and said, "Hey, I want to go here instead," and that was why he ended up 70 miles away. The counter argument to that is because Mr. Kim had been drinking, that he had passed out during the ride, and that Mr. Hancock was actually trying to take advantage of the situation, and therefore, since he was asleep, kept driving farther and farther to try to rack up higher fare, rack up more miles, and make more money. Is that true? Possibly. Or did Mr. Kim change his mind and then during the ride he was making Mr. Hancock uncomfortable and that's why the altercation happened? But did he really have to pull out a gun and use deadly force? Because he clearly didn't have a knife on him. The knife belonged to the driver, Mr. Hancock, not to Mr. Kim, the victim. And the bullets were from behind. So once he got out of the car, did he really need to shoot the victim? It really doesn't look like it. And him putting the knife into the hand of the victim makes his testimony look dishonest. So that's not making him look good. I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, he has basically written his own verdict with that statement. They're stating something along the lines of that he might at the very least, get second-degree murder, if not first-degree murder. I feel, based off of this information, he's pretty much done for. He's, definitely going to spend time in jail. It is not likely that he will get off scot-free. So, there you have it, folks. They're going to be making up their mind Wednesday morning and decide whether or not he's guilty. And once that happens, then it's basically over. This was the second week. All of the statements have been made, and now it's up to the jury to decide what's going to happen to him. That's it, guys. I will keep you posted, of course, once I get the information on what actually finally happened. I will post a follow-up video. You guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you soon in the next one.